Welcome to Premier Interschools 2023. This Saturday, the boys in blue from Grey High are travelling from Collegiate to the Boerland, where they will play in Stellenbosch on the famous Marcotte field against Roos.
I think they're definitely going to bring something from PE, something we might not expect.
Playing on the Marcotte is always going to be a massive fixture.
The girls from Collegiate, a sister school to Grey High, are making the same trip, where they will be taking on Renish Girls High just down the road from Roos.
Collegiate is very a strong team and it might be a very physical game.
I really do expect a good outcome for our team.
Join us in Stellenbosch this Saturday for two of the biggest netball and rugby encounters in the country. Rhenish Girls High, the hosts for this encounter, is a boarding school in Stellenbosch, founded in 1860 by the Rhenish Mission, a Protestant missionary movement that originated in Germany. Built around the pillars of culture and service, Rhenish girls value their education as an instrument of change.
Renish is very committed to make sure that we shape the whole girl at our school, the whole person. That would include academics. We would love to also make sure that they get exposed to cultural events, but sports play a huge part in our day-to-day school. Our kids love that, and we do believe that it builds character and that they learn to do some team sports over there and build some resilience. So we value the role of sports in particular in this beautiful town that we live.
Notable alumni include the famous classics scholar Lydia Baumbach. Dominique Scott is a record-breaking cross-country and long-distance athlete who competed in the 2016 and 2020 Summer Olympics. Renish have notched wins over Strand High, Somerset College and Herschel, but gone down to Bloemhof and Pearson, so this is a team with a solid performance early in the season, and we can expect some great netball on their home court this Saturday.
Well, Collegiate is always a very tough competitor and we're looking forward to a very, very tough encounter with them. When we have the whole school behind us and cheering us on, it will be an advantage for us, and we've got our brand new courts and we can't wait to play on them.
Playing against Collegiate is going to be tough, but I think that I have belief in our team, and I know that when it's time to, the team will put in the hard work and step up to the plate, and we will get the job done on the day.
Our chances against Collegiate, I think, are quite high. We've been working really hard as a team, and I think we stand a very good chance.
Collegiate is very a strong team and it might be a very physical game, but I think Renish has BMT where we could push through the match and the winning team will come out in the end.
Founded in 1874, Collegiate's motto sums up its values. Fracta non verba means actions speak louder than words. The boarding school campus in Parsons Hill is known for unlocking each learner's potential for personal excellence. And the school's active citizenship and social outreach activities are very well known, both in Quebec and further abroad.
Collegiate plays a large role in shaping their values. We obviously reinforce values that are taught at home, but we instill in everything that the girl does, we try to focus on 5 particular values, which are good work ethic and respect and responsibility and compassion and integrity.
Notable Collegiate alumni include the late property mogul Pam Golding, mountaineer Jeanette McGill, who was the first South African woman to summit Mount Manaslu in Nepal, and South African Rugby's former project manager, Anne-Lee Murray. Collegiate have had a busy start to the season and have won most of their encounters thus far. The trip to Stellenbosch gives them a chance to represent the Eastern Cape against a well-matched Western Cape rival, and the team will be fired up for a victorious win in the Boland.
We know that Renish are tough opponents. Yeah, they usually come at us with vigour, with pride, pretty much the same as our goals. So we are looking forward to the challenge once we get to Stellenbosch.
We take our chances with Renish very seriously, but we are aware of the tough competition that lies ahead. But we do know and we're confident in our work that we've put in since end of last year. Throughout the holiday, we've been training hard for this.
Visiting Renish is going to be quite a hard game, very challenging, but I'm quite excited because we've put in the work, so we should deserve a good outcome with all the hard work that's been put in.
So we're going to go in there, with our game, we're going to play to the best of our abilities, and whatever outcome happens, that will be a positive outcome for us.
The host school of this week's Rugby Premier Interschools encounter is Roos Gymnasium. Founded in 1866, the school was originally called Stellenbosch Gymnasium, and then Stellenbosch University evolved out of the original school. In 1946, it was renamed in honour of the famous Springbok captain and former rector of the school, Roos. The school has produced 54 Springboks to date, more than any other school in the country.
The encounter has always been a thrilling encounter that's always produced a very high level of schoolboy sport, and we can always expect a never say die attitude from the men of the Grey. And this year Grey will be travelling to Stellenbosch, so obviously we will have home ground advantage. Being at the Markotter, always very special for our boys, and being the first game of the season, I think we can expect a lot of excitement.
Notable alumni include the famous business magnate Johann Rupert, the musician Koos Kombuis, Idols winner Heinz Winkler, the poet and writer Ace Krieger, and several politicians, including the international statesman Jan Smuts. More recent Springboks include Damian Willemse, Elton Jantjies, Stephen Kitshoff, Willie Leroux, Francois Hoogaard and Andries Becker. Under first team coach Corné Ace, the boys in maroon have notched wins over some notable opposition, including Grey College last year, although conceding defeat to Monument earlier this year. They will have home ground advantage, but the Grey High team will give it horns right up to the last whistle, so expect some entertaining rugby on Makata this Saturday.
It's a fixture that we're very much excited about. It's the first fixture of the year where we represent the school, truly. We play a lot of warm-up games and friendlies. We go to Noordside, but this fixture is the first one. We're in front of the peers, in front of the school. So very excited for it. It's a very important fixture for the boys.
So playing against Grey High, I definitely expect a lot of physicality. We've played them twice in grade 8 and then last year in grade 11 as well. Always a physical game against Grey High, something to look forward to.
Ek verwag dit gaan 'n baie tawwe wedstryd wees. Ons gaan dis die eerste keer wat hulle hier toe kom. Ons het die res van die jaar het ons alles afgegaan PE toe. So ek verwag dit gaan taaf wees, gaan moeilik wees, maar ek sien baie daarna.
I'm very excited to see what they can do here in Stellenbosch, and it's always been a physical encounter against Roos and Grey, and it's the first inter-schools of the year, so the boys will be pumped up and ready for the match.
Looking back over the last 8 years, aside from the 2 COVID years, Roos has claimed boasting rights over 5 of the last 6 encounters. However, it would be naive to assume the Boland team will achieve an easy win. The Grey Boys are a tough, experienced outfit. This is going to be a great game of schools rugby. Grey High School was founded in 1856 to give the children of the rapidly growing community of 1820 settlers on the shores of Algoa Bay a much-needed education. A Scottish graduate called John Patterson was the driving force who got Sir George Grey interested. As governor of the Cape Colony at the time, Grey made land available, and the school was named in his honour. The boarding school in Mill Park has established a reputation as a top performer in both sport and academics.
At the Grey, values is central to everything that we do. The values that we impart for our future generations is our most important task. Values are what enables relationships to be positive, and that is why derbies against poor Roos is so important, and like-minded schools, because we share common values, and by meeting each other on the sports fields and interacting as communities, we are able to reinforce the positive values that we want to build at the Grey. It's not just about building our school. In reality, it's actually about building the future of our country.
Notable alumni include the politician David Mania, tennis player Cliff Drysdale, and cricketing brothers Graham and Peter Pollock. Recent Springbok Old Boys include Springbok skipper Theo Kolisi, Kerwin Bosch, JJ Engelbrecht and Jan Serfontein. The Grey First 15 had a promising start in 2023 with wins over Stellenberg and Hudson Park and a draw against a very strong Rondebosch side. Over the Easter weekend they went down to a tough Boland Landbou crew and also to Pretoria Boys High.
Going to Stellenbosch to play on the Makota against the men in the maroon, it's something we are excited about. It's somewhere where we're going to measure ourselves against one of the best in the Western Province. So we're always excited going down there. This year we're playing them a little bit early, so we're going to have to be sure that we are where we are supposed to be and that we can have a competitive match against Polris on the Makota.
It's some of our first times going to Stellenbosch and our last times because some of us are matrics, and I think it's also a very big honour to play on Makota as it's one of the most renowned fields in South Africa.
For Grey, we like to call ourselves a top tier school, so we're going to have to play against the best of the best, and yeah, it's going to be a tough game as it always is against the men in maroon, but we're going to have to bring our A game and just give it everything.
The lads and I are pretty excited for the trip down to Stellenbosch. It's our first and last trip down there, so we'll be looking forward to putting on a pretty good performance and hopefully coming back home with a win.
This Saturday, get to Stellenbosch. On the courts, Rhenish Girls High are hosting Collegiate, and on the Makota, Polris take on Grey High. It doesn't get better than this. It's Premier Inter Schools, live on SuperSport.